All right, so you can write code, right? That means you can build a product. But how do you turn that awesome product into a real business? Well, that takes a whole different language, the language of startups. So in this explainer, we're going to break down all the key terms you really need to know to take your great idea from just a project to maybe a global phenomenon. Let's dive in. So for today, we're going to step outside the world of pure code and algorithms for a bit. We're going to explore the business side of tech. And this is so important because it's about understanding the framework that can take a brilliant piece of software, something you build, and turn it into a company that could literally change the world. We're going to cover the vocabulary that every single tech founder has got to know. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this journey. First up, we'll look at the founder and what exactly they're trying to build. Then we're going to follow their path, look at the risks they face and the huge ambition that keeps them going. And to wrap it all up, we'll see how this whole mindset can actually supercharge your own personal growth. All right, let's kick things off with the most important piece of the puzzle, the founder. Who is this person really? And what makes what they're building so different from, say, just a regular everyday business? So at the heart of it all, you have the entrepreneur. And honestly, it's pretty simple. It's anyone who takes that big leap and starts their own company. If you've ever used your coding skills to build some kind of platform to solve a real problem for people, guess what? You're already thinking like one. Okay, but this leads to a super important question. I mean, we see new businesses opening all the time, right? A new coffee shop, a local store. Are all of those startups? The answer is a definite no. And for anyone in tech, understanding this difference is absolutely key. So here's the fundamental difference. Think of a small business, like a restaurant. It's using a proven recipe, right? They're executing a business model that we already know works. A startup, though, is on a completely different mission. It's out there to find a brand new business model, a recipe nobody's seen before, one that's built for crazy, rapid growth. So one is executing a known plan, while the other is on a quest to discover a new one. Big difference. And that's exactly why you should think of a startup as a temporary thing. Seriously, its only job, its whole purpose, is to find a business model that's both repeatable and scalable. So let's take that accounting app example. Repeatable just means you can sell the same software again and again without reinventing the wheel. And scalable? That's the magic part. It means you can go from serving just one client to thousands or even millions without having to rebuild your entire system from the ground up. Now, compare that to a small business. These are the companies that are often the backbone of our local communities. They're following a tried and true model to serve a local area. Their goal isn't world domination, it's about steady, stable profit. Totally different game. Okay, so we know what a startup is searching for, but what does that search, that whole journey, actually feel like for the founder? Well, it's a path that's really defined by two huge things: risk and resources. This journey has a name. It's a venture. And yeah, the word itself just screams risk, doesn't it? It's really that leap of faith you take when you try to grab an idea from inside your brain and actually make it work out here in the messy, totally unpredictable real world. And that risk is powered by uncertainty. That's the big, scary monster that every single founder has to face down. Look, you can build the most elegant, perfectly coded app in the world, but these giant questions are always hanging over your head. Is anyone actually going to use this thing, and will they pay for it? In the beginning, you don't know. The outcome is a total mystery. So, to battle that uncertainty, you've got your resources. We're talking about your money, your team, and your time. And for almost every startup out there, these resources are super, super limited. The entire game is basically a race. Can you use these precious resources smartly enough to find answers and kill that uncertainty before you run out of everything? It's intense. So you're probably wondering, if the journey is that risky, why would anyone even do it? Well, that brings us to the unique ambition of a startup. It's all about this incredible quest for massive growth and an impact that can change an entire industry. The magic word here is scalability. This is a startup's superpower. And as computer science students, you guys get this intuitively. Technology is the engine that makes this possible. I mean, think about it. A local taxi company can only grow by buying more cars. But a ride-sharing app, it can expand to millions of users across hundreds of cities, all using the same core piece of software. That is scalability. Okay, so how do you actually achieve that scalability? The key is leverage, and all this means is using things that already exist, tools, platforms, to get a huge result from a tiny input. You don't have to build the entire internet from scratch, right? You just leverage it to advertise your product to pretty much the entire world. It's the ultimate example of working smarter, not just harder. And when a startup successfully uses technology to scale like that, the result can be so powerful it can disrupt an entire industry. And that just means it fundamentally changes the way things have always been done. Just think for a second about how startups have totally changed the way we shop, the way we travel, the way we communicate. They didn't just play the game, they completely rewrote the rulebook. But disrupting an industry isn't actually the final goal. You have to remember, the startup phase itself is just temporary. The real ambition, the ultimate prize, is to graduate from that search phase and become a sustainable company, one that's found its working model and can now operate and grow for many, many years to come. Okay, and this brings us to our final and maybe the most important point of all. What does any of this mean for you personally? Because here's the secret. Beyond the dream of building a successful business, the journey itself has its own incredible reward. The process of building a startup, it's like a powerful engine for enhancing your own skills. You're not just sitting there writing code. You're suddenly forced to learn about marketing, about sales, about managing people, about negotiation. And here's the best part. Whether that venture succeeds or fails, you come out the other side with a much stronger, much more versatile set of skills. All right, we have covered a ton of ground. Let's wrap this up and boil it all down to the key takeaways. So, if you remember just a few things, make it these. 1. A startup's mission is a search for a scalable business model. 2. That journey is a risky venture shaped by uncertainty and very few resources. 3. Startups use leverage and technology to get that massive scale and sometimes disrupt entire markets. And finally, entrepreneurship is just a powerful, powerful way to enhance your own personal skills. Thank you so much for your attention. Now, to really make these ideas stick, please head on over to the classroom assignment section. And from now on, when you see a new tech company pop up, ask yourself that key question. Is it a startup that's still searching for a model, or is it a small business that's just executing one? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about its ambition and its future.